kidding me? Who can I speak to about getting the resources needed for my child? So I want to direct that to y'all, sending the information. We shouldn't be having this discussion. We shouldn't be sitting on money. We've sat here a whole year, we've argued about who's getting this money, who's getting that money, which takes me to page 2, letter N. Mr. Tiff had asked about what is the approval to submit an amendment to the Title I ARA grant application. Okay, what is the amendment? We had this discussion, and I'm pretty sure everyone recalls this particular meeting where we stayed on one subject for the non-public schools forever. Let me rephrase that. We stayed on the subject of using the SES money by August 30th. Stayed on that discussion forever. The board decided, nope, can't use it this year. It took us 2 seconds to approve millions of dollars for the non-public schools for something that they wanted. No matter what side of the town they're on, what community they live in, they're all part of Lakewood. Every student deserves the resources they need to be educated. So my question again is, what was the amendment? We already talked about the waiver back then, so why are we bringing it up again here almost at the end of 2010? Could someone tell us what the amendment is?
I can't tell you the specifics, but I know that in light of what happened last year, that we serviced more children than was appropriate, because there was specific amount of children that should have been serviced by SES. We serviced double, almost a double and a half of that. The state has indicated that we had to service a certain amount of children, that we had a certain amount of money, and I'm going to turn this over to the attorney. And we agreed with the state to add to the 917 children that we have now that are eligible for SES. We are now adding another 200, and I believe it's 225 students. That's the agreement that we came with in order to address some of the issues that was raised by the public. So what we are doing now, we're in the process right now, sending out letters to the 917. In fact, it was sent out this week by Mrs. Neva and a few other people on staff. Once we know whether or not those 917 are going to apply for the SES, once we know they don't, but they have to sign off that they're not, then we are going to begin. And if you recall, I spoke to the state and I said, I want the SES services to start as close as we can get it to the further into the year, so that when we have the exam in May, they're still receiving, up until that point, the tutoring services. So we're still within the ballpark of starting it at the right time. We're looking to start it in December, full-fledged by January. So that's where the specific monies that are being referred to here, that's what it's about. We are servicing more children. In fact, I'm looking and talking to the vendors about having to do more recruitment. But I think we'll be fully working with the vendors by January. And then from January all the way till the end of the year. And remember, this year, every child receives $1,800 worth of SES. So we're really campaigning so vendors get the children on board.
So it's not, I want to go back for what, just want to make sure I'm clear. It's 917 students
That are eligible.
Plus the 200 and
Yes.
some odd.
Yes.
And what was the total dollar amount? We're taking that number times 1,800.
I wish Mr.
And that's the amendment.
Mr. Finger was here. He knew the exact number.
I'll fit that to stand now.
It's not, the amendment isn't for the 917 times 1,800.
Right.
No, that's not the amendment. I'm not exactly sure what the amendment was, but that is not, it's not.
That's the cost.
I think the other question that she posed, what does, I know we have, would you happen to know the interim VA? Do you happen to know this information? Well, I think this is information that we, since we put it here, we need to find out the exact number and represent it. So hopefully we can find out this exact number and answer her, Mrs. Carney's question.
In fact, what I'll do,
Or post it.
Mrs. Carney, what I'll do is I'll call you.
And then the other question, which I hope I'm not hearing,
Wait, I will address the textbook.
please.
I have heard that there was problems at the middle school with the textbooks. I've been to the middle school, I questioned it, I was assured that they have enough textbooks, and I was told that kids have to sign a book out that's only for resource books, that they're actual class textbooks, there are enough. I will go back again tomorrow. I was assured that that wasn't a problem, but just keep bringing it to my attention, and I will continue to go back in.
And on the sidebar, can you give her the exact person, the exact classroom, so she can go right to it? Not, give it to her, yeah.
What you just said though, about the amendment, so you guys are, I'm asking, you're gonna table this until you find out what the amendment is?
I would suggest that the board attorney this be tabled,
Yes,
and I
we will
will,
table it.
thank you.
I make a motion that we table the amendment in page 2, letter N. Before we vote, we can vote on that one.
Well, you can vote on that in your entire,
Yes,
vote.
okay, Ms. Barker.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I think we're running over 4 minutes per person.
We actually, sir, are, but I was told in the past that answers have to be given.
Okay. Do us a favor when you're asking questions, alert the board at large that we're at 2 minutes.
At 2 minutes short.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Barbara. I want to ask if there's something we can do about bus safety. If anybody that has driven around this town during the day when the school buses are out and about, you can count on 2 hands how many of them are on cell phones while driving. Okay, students on the bus, non-students on the bus, either way, it's against the law. New Jersey now has a law, you cannot talk on the phone while driving. Yesterday, myself personally, I almost ran into a student in the road. The bus stopped on a curve, lights on, I noticed that the bus driver was on their phone, and as I looked, I saw that the women on the side of the road were yelling at the driver. Not realizing why she was, my window was up. Bus proceeded to pass me, I proceeded to go, the student was in front of me. She didn't wait for the student to even get to the other side of the road, she was busy on the phone. On my path to where I was going yesterday, I passed 4 other school bus drivers on the phone. This is a serious issue. Is there any way we can put together some kind of task force or something to go around during the day, drive around this town, and take care of this problem? Because, yes, this is becoming a serious issue. You know, she didn't even bother to wait for the student to cross the road. On page 3, S. Can you explain what that is?
What is it? The realty company. Does that have to do with that?
And how does it affect public school? Also, we've brought up time and time again about parent involvement. Is there
2
anything
minutes.
that's going on to encourage this and get parents more involved and more engaged in their students' education? That's it.
Okay. One, I think Mr. Grutnut just pulled up something from like the Lakewood Police Department regarding buses.
This is the headline of the scoop. But the headline says, Police Chief Rob Lawson, police cracking down on bus drivers' use of cell phones and inappropriate activities. And then have a video on him talking, et cetera, which I'm not playing, but you can look it up. And I guess the police are really addressing that issue today.
And so I think that's the issue we need to do. We need to make sure that keep them aware of it because, you know, there are students, but the laws that they are breaking are town laws.
It's
So,
both parties'
yes,
responsibility.
so we need to make sure that we bring that there as well and maybe write a few, a couple hundred tickets to change some people's attitudes. Not a couple tickets, a couple hundred tickets, but yes, the other questions? Number 3, yeah, what's up? What is this? Johnson Realty Services.
Mr. President, as you know, I started here yesterday, so
Welcome.
I got
Like
a brief but thorough explanation of what that was all about. We provide Title I and 192 services for non-public students through the federal monies. And we have to rent, we use, I believe it's called Catapult and Tree of Knowledge. They provide those services. And they also provide trailers where the children have to go, they provide spaces which children can go to get that service. This is to find out if we can eliminate the trailers and pay the schools to utilize their space. But to do that, we have to have appraisals on how much the actual square footage would cost. And that's what this is about. We haven't come up with the answer yet, but this was the first step.